Pros are spamming Zeri top lane, while Lich Bane is highly underrated on many champions after its recent buff. All this and more as we're set to share with you guys 10 of the most OP off-meta champs and builds for 12.3. But before we get into it, be sure to check out SkillCapped if you want to truly get better at League of Legends. We're the only service that offers a money-back guarantee if you don't climb at least 5 divisions while actively using our service. We do this because our service really does work, and if it doesn't work for you, you shouldn't pay. Learn more at the end of this video or click the link in the description below. With all that being said, let's get started. It's no secret Zeri bot lane has emerged as a powerful pick, but top lane Zeri has a lot of potential as well. Instead of running the standard Flash Teleport Summoner combination, Ghost with Flash is leading to the best results. Movement speed is such a key stat for Zeri, as it allows her to dip and dive around to dodge skill shots and consistently keep up ultimate stacks. Trinity into Hurricane is the most popular Zeri build right now. However, many pro top laners are slotting in Black Cleaver second. The Cleaver armor shred can be stacked in an instant due to Zeri Q, which gives Cleaver way more strength on Zeri compared to other champs. With Trinity and Cleaver, you're very durable, which allows you to go toe-to-toe with meta bruiser tops. With Ghost popped and your 2-item spike, the consistent DPS and ability to kite around is nuts. For runes, look to pick up Lethal Tempo, followed by Presence of Mind, Bloodline, and Coup de Grace. Bone Plating and Unflinching work best for secondaries. Stop sleeping on Stridebreaker Aatrox for 12.3, as the Gore Drinker nerfs give an even greater incentive to pick Stride up. If you also factor in that Hearthbound Axe, which is a component to Stridebreaker, had its cost lowered from 1100 to 1000 gold, the priority on Stride should be rising. About 10% of Korean Aatrox players are already running Stride and winning way more than Gore Drinker, while only 1% of Western Aatroxes build the item. The ultimate snowball core to abuse for 12.3 is Stridebreaker into Cyrilda's Grudge second. Absolutely insane how well this core synergizes with Aatrox. The slow from Stridebreaker active combined with the slow from Cyrilda's passive increases Aatrox Q hit rate by a substantial margin. If you can land all your Q charges, the chances of winning out in 1v1s is very high, so Stride and Cyrilda's are perfect. Conqueror is the best keystone with Triumph, Tenacity, and Last Stand. Bone Plating and Unflinching work great for secondaries. Dark Harvest has been the go-to rune on Ekko for ages. However, Koreans have started using an alternative and are seeing great results. First Strike is what you'll prioritize, as the rune works so well with how Ekko wants to play. It's not until your 2-item spike of Rocket Belt and Lich Bane where you really come online and can start one-shotting squishies. Once you reach this point, it's easy to take over, but getting there can be difficult. By running First Strike combined with Futures Market and Freeboots, it accelerates you into your mid-game core extremely fast. The stats don't lie either, as Korean Echoes are winning around 3% more with First Strike than Dark Harvest. Core build is a Rocket Belt rush into Lich Bane second and Rabadon's third. Nashor's is a viable alternative in place of Lich Bane, however, after the recent Lich Bane buffs, it started outperforming Nashor's a lot more. Lich Bane Nidalee is back and should not be overlooked in 12.3. Prior to the 12.2 Lich Bane buffs, very few Nidalee players prioritized the item, but that's slowly starting to change. Lich Bane is fantastic as a second purchase, and even Canyon has been abusing it in solo queue. Since Nidalee has so many abilities, she can spam out with 2 forms. Spellblade cooldown being lowered by 1 second was actually huge. Base damage was lowered, so your pure one-shot is down, but with haste being added on, the changes have been very positive. Core build is a Rocket Belt rush into Lich Bane second and Zanya's third. 2-item spike is super nasty, as your ability to insta-pop targets off a spear hit is great. The rune page is also quite unique, as Canyon has been running Conqueror instead of the more common Dark Harvest. Harvest is still completely viable, it just depends on whether you prefer the stronger early skirmish from Conqueror or more one-shot potential of Dark Harvest. Physical damage champions have become much stronger for 12.3 against heavy AP comps. Hexdrinker and Maw have been buffed, which means there's more value in prioritizing the items in correct situations. When playing AD mid in games where the enemy composition is composed of an AP mid and jungle, grabbing a Hexdrinker will seriously amplify early skirmish power. The magic resist on top of the magic shield gives you so much durability and works great to deny AP assassins one-shot potential. After building Hexdrinker, you'll generally hold off on completing Maw until later in the game. It's all about assessing the situation and deciding whether you need the extra magic resist and shielding. Since the new Maw shield scales off 225% bonus AD, it's a ridiculously strong pickup once you have a bunch of AD stacked. If you complete Maw 3rd or 4th item, the enemy AP assassin won't have a chance to burst you in one rotation. Champs who can stack a ton of bonus AD like Jhin are going to be loving Maw as a late game pickup for 12.3. Another champion being slept on with Lich Bane as a core purchase is Zoe. After the 12.2 buffs, Lich Bane has started outperforming every other second purchase for Zoe. Most burst mages synergize poorly with Lich Bane because they don't auto-attack very often. Zoe, on the other hand, loves to weave in autos to apply her passive, so you get great value out of Lich Bane's Spellblade proc. The 8% movement speed Lich provides is a very underrated stat on the item, as it helps Zoe immensely. Being in the right spot at the right time to find the perfect angle for bubble picks can make or break situations. Sample core build is Luden's Rush into Lich Bane 2nd and Zhonya's 3rd. For runes, grab Electrocute with Taste of Blood, Eyeball Collector, and Ravenous Hunter. Optimal secondaries are Biscuits and Time Warp Tonic. Rageblade has been a staple on Kog'Maw for a very long time, however, the order in which you purchase it has started to change. Ever since the Immortal Shield Bow nerfs, many Kog players have been rushing Rageblade and winning a ton more. As a matter of fact, you don't even need to purchase a mythic item at all, as Hurricane and Wit's End can be slotted 2nd and 3rd. Rageblade is 800 gold cheaper than Shield Bow, and synergizes amazing with Kog'Maw's kit, so you hit a much earlier spike to start taking over the game. Most traditional ADCs rush a standard mythic item, so if you're able to come back to lane with a fully completed item while they're still sitting on components, you have a massive advantage. Couple this with the fact enchanters who can enable Kog like Janna, Lulu, and Soraka are heavily prioritized in meta, and you have yourself a highly underrated ADC pickup. In regards to runes, grab Lethal Tempo with Triumph, Alacrity, and Coup de Grace for primaries. Optimal secondaries are Bone Plating and Revitalize. Not only is Ziggs as a champion underrated for bot lane, but his best rune setup is as well. Although Comet is a completely viable option, First Strike is leading to far better results. The pure consistency from First Strike is what makes it so strong on Ziggs bot. Whenever First Strike comes off cooldown, you have the ability to very easily proc the rune from your long-range spells. When up against a melee support, it's even better, as there are few instances where the enemy will hit you before you hit them. Harass constantly to proc First Strike, and then when mana issues roll around, just teleport back to lane to keep stacking. Complete rune pages, First Strike with Freeboots, Biscuits, and Cosmic Insight, Mana Flow and Transcendence are the best secondaries. As for the build, Rush of Liandry's followed by Archangel 2nd and Zhonya's 3rd. Senna's play rate has shot up astronomically after the recent Q buff, and there's a very interesting, more supportive setup garnering attention. Instead of building an AD mythic, Locket is slotting in really well as that rush item. Second item is Redemption, so there's much more emphasis on keeping carries alive with this build. Setup allows you to offer more than just damage, which gives Senna consistent influence over games. Especially in games where you're playing against heavy burst, you're going to be much better off prioritizing this defensive build. Opting for the standard Eclipse into Manamune will provide more damage, but if you're dead in an instant, that doesn't matter. Combined cost of Locket and Redemption is 1200 gold cheaper than Eclipse and Manamune, so you hit a 2-item spike way earlier. The rune page is also very unique, as you opt for Summon Area as the keystone, with Mana Flow, Transcendence, and Scorch. Best secondaries are Conditioning and Revitalize. Once again, more emphasis on helping your team than yourself. The priority of Glacial Augment has been rising over the past few patches, and Blitzcrank is severely underrated with the rune. No other mythic is leading to better results than Glacial, but only 10% of players are picking it up. Do you ever land that hook with Blitz, but your teammates are just slightly behind so the enemy is able to escape? Glacial does a great job at shoring this up. The freeze ray slow helps keep the enemy in place after you find a pick, so that your team can capitalize on catch plays way more often. The damage reduction aspect of Glacial is often overlooked as well. When you land a hook or knock the enemy up with E, opponent will be dealing 15% less damage to your teammates. Another major reason to why Glacial does a great job at allowing you to win out in early skirmishes. Full rune page is Glacial with Hex Flash, Biscuits, and Cosmic Insight. Run Bone Plating and Revitalize for secondaries. Build the standard stuff with the Shirelias or Locket Rush into Zeke 2nd and Wardstone 3rd. Alright guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a little more about SkillCapped. So, we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee, and think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's like a gym membership guaranteeing you'll get ripped. Your local gym would go bust if they offered that, right? Not us. We've offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, that we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium league guides on the internet. We add over 20 videos a week, with over 1,600 guides curated into over 100 courses no one can compare. We've also sent Challenger players into ELO Hell 714 times and counting, where they commentate how to carry live. They also respond to all questions asked. Sign up today for as little as $6.99 a month if you are serious about improving. Until next time, good luck with all these new setups, and we'll see you back soon.